we'll do the roll call. Stephen Antonio, I'm here. Elaine Lang, I see you
Yep.
here. Anka, I believe.
I'm here.
All right. And Kate. All right.
Hello.
So we have a quorum. Lori and Jackie, thank you for joining us this evening. And of course, Mike and Ika, thank you for joining us as well. Our first application is, of course, your application number ZC20-09 of Mark and Ika Scully, Selectron LLC, for a site plan approval to install solar carports at the property located at 690 Hot Meadow Street, which of course we know better by the restaurant at that address, Metro Bis. With that being said, without further ado, Mark, do you want to lead or do you want to hand it off? How do you want me to approach this?
I'm happy to lead, at least give a brief overview. I think this is the second time we've been before this group, so I think you're familiar with some of the basic issues and our goal to not just restore the Ensign House, but make it give it a as low an environmental footprint as it can have. And so the idea of solar producing some of the energy that we need was always part of our hope. So you will notice, and I can either share my screen or I think you've got the materials, but you will notice that we have scaled the project back a little bit from what we showed you before. So what we're proposing now are 2 carports and some solar on the rooftop of the annex. Of course, not on the Ensign House proper, but on the annex, the newer building. So one of the carports, the one on the southern edge that faces Ensign Bickford, is essentially identical to what we showed you before. And the second carport, the one that covers the interior parking spaces, we've scaled that back. What we had showed you before was a much larger sort of long span tabletop. We have scaled that back so that it's what they call a cantilever. It's a vertical structure with a slanted, so it's covering the 2 rows of parking spaces there
In the middle.
in the middle, entirely invisible now from the roadway, and less of a view obstruction from the from the entire Ensign House, but in particular from Renium, the salon, where you're looking out of their window, which is really kind of at sidewalk level. That there'll be much less of a blockage there, so their light is preserved. And then we've added, because we reduced the size of that, we added some solar on the roof of the annex, and that should not be visible at all from really from the ground. It's a fairly shallow tilt. So we're really excited about this idea of being able to produce our own energy. There are other benefits to the carports. They do provide shade and protection from the elements to cars. And we'll probably put a couple of electric vehicle chargers in there. There will be lighting underneath the carports. We've done a bit of a tour looking at carports in different places in the state and pictures, and we're trying to do everything we can to make these as attractive as possible. So we want the actual support structure, including the beams, and so the posts and beams, the sort of guts of the thing, to be painted in the factory. And these are, you may recall, what they call bifacial solar panels. So they do let some light through, and then they produce solar energy from both sides. That's the bifacial part. So the sun beaming down on the panel itself, and then reflecting off of cars and off of the pavement, it actually produces energy from below as well. And it's a little bit less of an imposing structure. It's not as dark, right? You do have some light coming through. And the other feature of this is that it's essentially a no wires. There are very few wires that will be visible. There's an inverter. There's a thing that converts the energy from DC to AC, and there's some wiring that goes up. But there's not this sort of salad of wires. It's very aesthetically pleasing. design. There'll be footings, concrete footings, some of them in the dirt, some of them in the, a couple of them in the parking spaces, sort of between, at the juncture of some parking spaces. We want to keep those, and you've got details, I think, from the manufacturer of the structure that show some of those details. We want to keep the footings that are in the parking spaces to about 18 inches. The ones that are in the dirt to about 6 inches, so they're not as imposing. So let me pause there if anyone has any questions.
They will also have gutters on the edge so they won't drip onto the cars.
Right. The one over the parking spaces will have gutters. The one over on the south edge
Doesn't need it.
doesn't need it.
And our original drawings that we presented to the State Historic Preservation Office had solar panels on the annex from day one, and they're okay with it.
I don't think you can really see them, so
Right.
I don't think they're going to be in our purview, but I appreciate that acknowledgement. Well, Mark, that's our conclude your presentation, right?
Yeah.
We can discuss now. Does anyone have a question off the top of their head? I'll start then. Illumination wise, is there any illumination under these canopies?
Yes.
For
there'll be-
nighttime?
Yes, there will be lighting. Yep. Because we've got lighting now and we don't want to lose that.
Okay. I don't see the poles on for the existing lighting. Would you mind refreshing me what there is for existing illumination of the parking areas?
Let's see, is that?
There's 2 light posts in the southernmost island, traffic island, and then the lights will be attached to the solar panels themselves now, so there won't be light posts.
So it'll be like a fixture, like a fluorescent fixture under these?
What we have, I'm just looking if the survey shows them. The survey does not appear to show.
I don't see them anywhere. I did go through them.
Or is
2
that?
right there. There are 2.
Yeah, so they're on that island over towards the dumpster, to the top of the survey, and there'll be LED lights from underneath.
Wait, there's only one. There's that and a tree.
Yep, and then there's one here. So I think we'll only lose the one that is to the sort of southernmost point, close to the to that dumpster. We'll lose that, and then we'll place that with some lighting underneath.
Okay, so just to really underscore my query there, the light will be directed downward, correct? Not off. It won't spill anywhere off the property.
That's right. That's the way it is now too. There are these T's, and the light spills down, and that's what we'll do. And actually, it'll probably be even less upward light because it'll be under the canopy.
Yep.
Right.
We're darkness conservation too.
Then you had brought up that these will be factory painted. I believe they're really an I-beam that supports these structures, if I'm not mistaken.
That's
what
right.
color were you planning on painting those I-beams?
Gray, and that's what's shown in the renderings that hopefully you have.
We do have, and then the concrete piers, were you going to paint them or just natural? Just out of curiosity.
We could put some coloring in them. If we go with gray, then we may not need that, but we're certainly open to that.
Okay, like I said, I'm just sort of rounding out the vision so I can get it. Then the rainwater you answered, which is great. And the only other question I had, which does not mean you have to do it, but I did at least want to ask, when I did do some research online, I see that some people do box out these columns, gives it a little more of a finished look. But to be quite frank, I'm sure it substantially adds to the price tag of such. I just feel the duty to at least ask if you considered that.
We did. This was a big discussion point. We went and looked at, and I'm really glad we did. We went and looked at a canopy that has the boxed-in structure. And to be quite honest with you, we think the I-beam is a much more attractive look and will look better for longer. The beams, to me, they're not nearly as
They're clunky.
kind of
They're
clunky.
kind of a clunky looking, and the I-beams, just the way they go and then taper to the end, they they're just more graceful.
Yeah.
And they look like they go with the panels better. It's all that kind of a,
I know
it
what
just
you
goes
mean.
better with it. You know,
Industrial chic.
Right. Right.
right. You know, the other ones look boxed in. They look boxed in and they look boxed in. You know, they don't look like they go with the panels as well.
That's okay. I just wanted to know if you had considered that as an option. If we could go through our commissioners, Elaine, since you are the next tile on my screen, if you don't mind, do you have any questions you might care to ask?
I don't. I'm very excited that when I eat lunch at Metro Beast in the summertime, I won't be competing for the one under tree shady parking
Yeah,
space.
you're right.
So I'm so excited. I'm like, ooh, shade for my car. I'm very happy about that. No, I think they look great. I think it's a great use of the parking lot. Covered parking in our weather most of the year is very welcome. So I think it's a win-win, and the look is unobtrusive and works well with the rest of the property.
Cool. Anka, would you like to share or question anything?
I like it and I agree. Solar panel, you know, let's take contemporary, modern look, simple structure. I like it. It's fine. And in all honesty, very few people will notice that there are solar panels above this shaded areas, parking area. So yeah, good luck. Very nice.
Cool.
Thank you.
Kate? You're on mute.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
you can do a thumbs up if that's how you
That's
want
why
it.
I did the thumbs up, but yes, no, I think it looks great. That's exciting.
All right. Would someone like to make a motion for a positive referral? I think we're all excited about this and appreciate the consideration you've given our notes in the past. It's definitely nice to see it slightly reduced. And to be quite frank, I don't think you're really going to see it off the property, but we still, you know, are proud to have it added, I think. So I'll make the motion. I'll make a motion for a positive referral regarding my, I'm so sorry.
I know.
Mark and
Find the number.
Scully's application number ZC20-09. Also with Selectran LLC for the site plan approval to install solar carports.
I will second.
And all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? All right. Well, it's unanimous anyways. You have your positive referral for zoning, and I wish you luck and appreciate the time that you've given us. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks,
Stephen, thank you very much. We appreciate your time as well.
Thank you. Of course, you have to come back for your second meeting. You all know that, right?
Yep. We'll see you at 7 o'clock, Mike.
All right.
So we'll sign off now. Thank you. Thank you all.
Likewise. Thank you.
Have a good evening, guys.
Next topic for us is general business, but Mike, correct me if I'm wrong. We don't have any general business.
No, not for this evening. I'll just give the board an update after our last meeting. I had a follow-up meeting with the applicant for Iron Horse, Chris Nelson, and he's proceeding with those plans. So I really just appreciate the comments and inputs from the board at our last meeting. It really assisted Chris as he's moving forward with his plans. You will be seeing that probably in the next month or so.
Oh, glad to hear it. Building season is upon us, so it's timely. Plus, you have to get in line. Lori, what is that? I'm sorry. Okay, so I apologize about that. Has anyone had the opportunity to review the minutes of the March 1st, 2021 regular meeting? All right, I have to be honest, I didn't, so I'm going to have to abstain. Is anyone going to be able to...
I wasn't at that meeting, so I have to abstain as well.
Abstention. Kate, Anka, did you guys?
I just didn't have a chance to review, sorry.
No
It's
worries.
been
So
like-
if it's okay, I'd like to table the approval of those minutes. And of course, we will review them at our next meeting. And if no one else, at least I'll review them. I apologize about myself. So as usual, we have set a record. It is 16 minutes, and I'd like to make a motion for adjournment.